What's up? Happy hump day. Welcome back to the Stephie Smalls Show. Joining me today, popping his triple S cherry, is C.J. Sullivan. How's it going?
Good. Is that a thing? Triple S cherry?
I think I just made it up just for you. I had to come up with a one-liner. Yeah. Comic, gambler, host of the Bottom Line Bomb Show. What do you like to go by?
All of that. Yeah. I've attained many a nickname through the show. Part where it's like I was making fun of the nicknames, but now I'm like, is it? And I kind of like them. So I'm the bet detective. I'm the man in the box. I'm the laddie daddy.
You are the laddie daddy.
Yeah,
you are the laddie daddy. If you have not checked out CJ's show, he's also on Sean and Kramer's show, sports gambling podcast. Definitely go check that out. Talk to me about week one. How did it treat you?
Week one was fun, enjoyable experience because football was back. But as far as what it did to the laddie daddy, not too great. I did hit a couple ladders. I hit the J.K. Dobbins ladder, though. That was fun. And Jaden Daniels rushing ladder. But other than that, the games were not good to me. The Tennessee was really killer for everyone.
It was rude. Yeah. Very hurtful.
It was rude.
Personal. It felt personal kind of at some point. Yeah. I felt like they were doing it on purpose.
I know, and especially when Callahan even said it afterwards, like all we had to do was punt on first down, like which is a great thing to say about Levis. But we were just saying, just take a knee, do anything, just don't have your quarterback play football, and you would have been fine.
Yeah, at that point, when I saw that quote, I'm like, you might as well just like spit in his eye, dude.
I know.
Like, that was quite the quote to be putting out there after week one.
Right.
Is there a team that like overestimated or underestimated or overestimated week one wise?
It's interesting. My two big futures, at least value wise, I liked on both conferences was Seattle and Jacksonville, and I was pretty disappointed how Jacksonville blew that game with ATN fumbling out of the end zone. So they just might be just doing their old shenanigans again. You know, that's what kind of disappointed me. That was a game they had to have. Other than that, I think like obviously the bad teams were worse than we thought. Like Carolina was worse, and we like, oh my God, they're even worse. I think I'm not ready to kill your Giants just yet. I don't think Daniel Jones is. I don't think he's healthy, to be honest.
I'm on to the draft. On to the draft. Like I'm going to be honest, that was somehow worse than week one last year. Which, if you don't remember that game, they got absolutely slaughtered.
Oh, I remember.
By the Cowboys on Sunday Night Football. It was absolutely fucking brutal, is what it was. You mentioned Seattle. I'm considering them in Survivor this week. Is that crazy? Like, where are you winning Survivor-wise?
Yeah, it's not crazy. It's not advised.
It's not great, though.
Right. I had Seattle last week in a couple. I had 3 entries. I went one out with Cincinnati, but I had Seattle and Buffalo for the other 2. I like Seattle, of course, all year. Those at New England game it just seems so ugly already. You know what I mean? Like, it just seems so gross. Like 18-15s. And Seattle should, of course, come out with it, but I don't know. It just seems so murky. Dirty. You don't want that sweat. Yeah, you don't need that kind of sweat especially this week. There's a lot of better options, I think, this week than Seattle at New England.
You know what I think is with New England too, and then we will get into Thursday Night Football because I know everyone wants props, everyone's hungry for them, but like, I think there's a world, and everyone's going to be like, did you start drinking at 10 a.m. when I say this, which is fine, but like, hear me out. I think there's a world where New England might win like 6, 7 games, 8 games maybe. Their defense looks good. Jacoby looks good. And then when Jacoby stops looking good, like how many games can you win with Jacoby? 4 games? Right. And then if he starts shitting the bed, you have Drake May to pull out of your pocket, and then does he win you 2 or 3? So I'm going to keep my eye on that win total because I think there's going to be an opportunity to take the over there for them. But I think New England might end up like they're going to be a shit show, but in like a fun defensive way.
Yeah, they're not going to be a mess like we thought they were going to be in a mess. Like Carolina.
It's not going to be horrible.
Right, exactly. Right. They're going to be competitive. They had a top 10 defense last year. You know, how much credit you want to give the Belichick or not, but and I think Jacoby's just here to hold the fort down because their first 5 games are pretty tough, and then I think they got to let Drake May out eventually. But I think you're right. They can win 5 or 6 games. I like your in season
on the ball. Stevenson looks good. Like the books are kind of been disrespecting him a little bit. It was like 13.5 at plus money last week.
I know.
25 attempts, crazy. absolutely crazy. Who are you for Survivor then?
There was someone staying stat with Stevenson just real quick. He had like 12 missed tackles. He made 12 missed tackles or something, and like the next closest was 5 or something. Like he was just a beast. Yeah.
I feel like if you're not Derrick Henry, Saquon, like all these flashy names, everyone's like, no, he stinks. Like everyone else stinks. That's it. You have to have one of the big names, or you're not a good running back. Before we jump into Thursday Night Football, who are you picking for Survivor?
Survivor, I'm locked in on Baltimore. It was the easiest before the season.
Everyone's doing it.
I know. I have Baltimore. I'll rank it for you. Baltimore. Well, just to get Baltimore, you have Oakland coming across, or Vegas. Coming across. Early flight, of course, at 10 a.m. West Coast, East Coast, cliche. Baltimore with a 10 days rest. It's just spoiler alert, I don't know if Antonio Pierce might be a good football coach. That was of course, that 4th and 1 punt he did from 4
Kramer isn't here. You're safe.
I know. With 7 minutes to go, and I love Pierce. I love Pierce. Anyone who drives around Plexico Burris on the lamb after he shoots himself to avoid the cops, that's a guy who I want being a leader. Yeah. Did he really? He signed you behind that?
One of them. He's great. That one over there.
I love a coach that works in the margins. He was the bag man. Like, he's just great. But that punt was 7 minutes to go there. They were down 6 last week. And the index called it the second most cowardly call since like 1999. What a great stat to have the cowardly call of the day. And so I like Baltimore. I also like Houston, of course. These are two, the Bears. That was an absolute disgrace. What was it? 140 yards of offense. And I love Houston coming at home against them. But if you want to go down the ranks, Chargers is in the bad play at Carolina. Even though it is Chargers. That's one of my big rules is don't pick the Chargers because they will charge it up. But Harbaugh definitely has changed the attitude. It's a West Coast traveling East Coast. Carolina looks so bad. Can they be that bad again? Yes, they can. So I think Chargers and because the Chargers and Panthers just lost their best defensive tackle, they will be able to run the ball as they did last week. I think all over them. So Chargers should win that. And if you really want to hurt yourself on Sunday, Steph,
the Giants.
You take Washington over the Giants.
Oh, really? Okay, we'll get into it.
I don't like Washington, but I just don't think Daniel Jones can move, and he needs to be able to move to do whatever it is he does.
But he is 5-1-1 against the Commanders in his career.
True. That is true.
And I'll save it because some of my week 2 player props, because of an insane person, obviously involve the New York Giants. Let's talk about Thursday Night Football first. Buffalo is going to Miami. Miami opened 1-point favorites. It's moved some places 2. It's 2.5. It's a night game, so Buffalo doesn't have to worry about getting scorched on the visitor sideline. They don't have to worry about that. Total is at 49, opened at 51. What's your initial read on the spread and total?
Well, originally you think Buffalo, Miami. Buffalo's beaten them like 8 out of 9 times or something like that. Something crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And you think of both offenses and you like the over there. But the more I look at it, and Miami did play bad last week, and they were a little banged up. Buffalo took them a while to get going, but that was versus Arizona.
Right.
So I'm leaning more towards Miami now, just because I don't see too many ways Buffalo is going to matchup wise where they can do better. Because once you shut down Kincaid, they were really in trouble as far as their weapons go. But Arizona just wasn't capable of doing that. Miami's defense will be capable of doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think really for Miami, and it sounds like a lot and it's a silly statement to say, but if they can just control Josh Allen and Cook a little bit, I think they're in a good spot. I think the matchup here leans towards Miami. I kind of lean the under here, but then as I say it out loud, it feels icky because does it turn into a shootout between these two teams?
Exactly. I agree with you too. I would lean under looking at it, but then I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to bet the under with these two teams just because there's so many weapons and their offenses are so good that eventually they can get to the 50s without even trying, really.
Yeah, 100%. Player props obviously is what everyone absolutely loves these days. We're over spreads, we're over totals. Mostert not playing. Miami's backfield just loves to be who's going to be hurt this week, and then you have to kind of figure out who the guy is to bet on. Last night, I know some people got it at plus 240. I took Wilson anytime touchdown plus 190. It is now plus 105. Before we got on the show, I checked. I think I leaned Wilson because I know everyone Wright was this fantasy football darling, but I leaned that way because I thought if the two guys were in the game, he still had a better chance to still get into the end zone.
Yeah, Wilson's definitely the guy to score there. And I love Wright too, but he's like more of the flashy kind of fill in for etching. I mean, he'll probably go off at -130. Wilson. Who cares what the number was? What they used to get. I mean, I'd still grab that now. Anytime touchdown.
Absolutely.
Wilson. I think the other side for touchdowns for Buffalo running back is interesting because if Cook doesn't score, and I know Josh Allen, they said Josh Allen wasn't going to rush as much, but he went right back to his old tricks again.
They're full of shit. Like every time they say that, I don't believe you.
Right. But there's some huge numbers on their backups there, Ray Davies and Ty Johnson. Now, Ty Johnson was a clear number 2, but Davies, they said coming into the season, was going to be like the goal line guy. That was supposed to be the plan. That didn't happen, but sometimes those rookies have those first games and, those initiations, they break their 3S cherries, and then they got to wait. And then the second week, you can catch them on a good number, like Ray Davis is 7-1 anytime touchdown. I kind of like that.
I kind of like it too. You mentioned Kincaid. I, for lack of a better term or phrase, I'm going to be fucked if Kincaid actually does it. If week 1 continues, I'm in a really bad spot because I am very overexposed to Kincaid in fantasy football. I'm not fucked, but I'm not in a great spot. So I just have totally just leaned into that kind of being not the situation that's going to go forward. I'm not ready to touch his yards or his receptions, but I did take his longest reception over 17.5 -104. They'll probably look to be on Coleman, which I think people are getting a little excited about. I don't know. I think it's going to be interesting how things shake out as far as receiver wise goes for Buffalo, but I had to do something with Dalton Kincaid because I'm not going to be the idiot that doesn't have any money on Dalton Kincaid. So that was the way I kind of met in the middle.
Yeah, no, I know that was definitely concerning. Fucked, I believe, is the correct word if that happens all year long, because I'm also invested in Kincaid. That was not positive what we saw. Because it seems like that's going to be the game plan until they have a receiver that can step up and be a number 1 that they're worried about. Then they're just going to try to shut down Kincaid, and that's not good. Now, that being said, I know when you're trying to pick one of those, Curtis Samuel is out. He's not a thing. He
hasn't been a thing. Can you guys let it go? Enough.
He's like that Mean Girls. Just stop trying to make him the thing. But and Khalil Shakir is so I don't know. I was on him. He hit his over prop barely last week. He did get a touchdown, but he's definitely boomer bust. He's nothing I can really get behind as much as far as receiver. And like you said, Coleman is a rookie. Now, Matt Collins.
Yeah.
Now we're talking the barefoot bike rider. He is a big body that at least Allen goes to him in trouble. So I wouldn't even hit his yards, but his receptions, I'm looking at 1.5 receptions for Matt Collins.
Crazy.
He hit a couple last week. That is crazy. So you can even ladder that up to 6 catches. Laddie Daddy will start off the 2 catches. That's where you get the kids to ground the ladder, hold it while Dad goes up and cleans the gutters. And then Daddy goes up there around 4 catches at plus 350 just to clean the gutter a little bit. Daddy, and then if he wants to get that kitty out of the tree, 5 catches, 7-1, get that chimney fire, 6 catches, 15-1 is absolutely crazy.
Why not? Who's stopping him? The dude doesn't wear shoes. He eats with his fucking hands. You assume that Ramsey and who's the other Fuller are probably going to be on Coleman and Shakir.
Absolutely.
You guys can keep again trying to make Samuel a thing, not a thing for me. Even his receiving yards are 18.5, -110. I mean, what are we doing here? I think that Allen's going to be looking to him. He's not going to be covered. No one's actually worried about Matt Collins.
Nobody's worried about Matt Collins.
I wrote down his receptions too. What else was I looking at here? Let me run by you. First of all, Cook's receptions just got out of control. I can't bet that number unless I'm going to do an alt. It's just not my thing. So what I did lean into, and if you haven't caught on to, I do like these longest rush longest reception.
Yes.
Like, I have a problem. I'm addicted to it. It's very fun. I think those are the best bets to sweat that aren't a ladder, of course. His longest
but you're never out of it. You know what I mean? You're never out of it. And it's always a big, and you just wow me to one. Right. And just wow me one time is all I need.
One time. Yeah. Quick hit. I'm a quick hit. It's a addictive personality. But James Cook, longest rush, 13 and a half at -110. I like that over. 15 last week. Bigsby, who we could do a whole nother show on how ETN did not look like the dominant back there. Right. Rewatching that game. That O-line looks like absolute hell. But Bigsby had a run, 26 yards. ETN even snuck out an 11-yard run. I think Cook can get over that 13 and a half mark. I
like that a lot. And yeah, Jacksonville ran all over him. They ran for like 150 yards or something on him.
Yeah.
And that was Bigsby and ATN. Imagine what Cook will be able to do. Yeah. He needs an explosive runner. I do like Jalen Waddle too. I have him written down.
Yes.
I think his yards are 62 and a half.
Exactly.
Yes. Yeah. All right. Let me note highlights. I love Tyreek Hill. We can go through him. Buffalo's actually done a pretty good job of shutting down Tyreek. Not shutting him down, but they've kept him in control, you know.
Yeah.
Much like a Dade Miami police officer. They kept him, you know, they have him on the ground. I did like real quick on that story, how he said he rolled up the window because he wanted to be discreet. He didn't want anyone to see, you know. He doesn't like the attention of his $500,000 Lamborghini. He wanted to be discreet. Right. Roll that window up. So.
He's so discreet. He has like 12,000 kids. That's how.
Right. Well, 12.
Okay, buddy.
One for every horsepower in his Lamborghini. So he had to try to blend in.
Yeah. They're already setting his receiving yards line crazy though. Like you usually. It doesn't start to happen for a lot of these guys. Kaya's barking now. Usually doesn't happen until like week 4, week 3. You start to notice for guys like Jefferson, like Tyreek. 96 and a half? Are you guys fucking high? Like, what am I going to do with that? I might as well take an all 150 plus at that point.
I know. I'm like, what's the point of that? I'm not even going to do it. And of course, he did hit it last week, but that was with that 180-yard bomb, which could easily, not
exactly.
Happen, you know what I mean? So.
And then the other, we're talking about Waddle, he had a 63-yard bomb. I think I lean that way as far as this game goes. I like his longest reception over the 23 and a half -115. One quick pass, love it. You're done, or you sweat it till the end of the game. But yeah, I think Waddle is the direction I'm going to go. I'm never going to look at a wide receiver's receiving yards line and see something like 85 plus and be excited about it.
And get excited because, like you said, where's the room for growth? I can't ladder that. I can't.
What can I do? Where are you going to ladder to 400? What are we doing here?
That's a step ladder. I can barely get the peanut butter off the top drawer out of that with that little ladder, kitchen ladder.
You're like going backwards at that point. You're stepping down. You're stepping down the ladder at that point. Any other props from Thursday Night Football that you are looking at?
I'm looking at, let's see, we have Wilson, we have Tyler Waddle, Matt Collins. I did have a future I saw on DeMar Hamlin now that he's starting again for comeback player of the year. Hear me out on this. Last year, everyone went in on comeback player of the year. Then he gave it to Joe Flacco because he's, middle-aged sports writers related to him being on a couch or something. I want to know if these writers will have the goal to rip this award from a dead man twice. This is weekend at Bernie's too, if you ask me. You can still get him at 30-1. Now he's actually playing the game. You're like, does it make sense even though he was up for it last year? Did weekend at Bernie's 2 make sense? No, it did not. But they drug him around again anyway. And that's what I think is going to happen here. You can get him at 30-1, DeMar Hamlin, and he's actually playing. I think they right the wrong and give the dead man a bone.
Fine, 30-1. Like, don't pull my leg. I'll do it. Why not? And if they didn't screw him on that last play because they wanted to make him feel good, he probably would have freaking won the damn thing. What the fuck was that?
That was the funniest play ever. Like he thought, like
so bad.
McDermott thought it was gonna be like one of those Make-A-Wish kids, like Kansas City was just gonna clear the path and let him score.
Oh, it's so bad.
Fake dives at the feet or something. Now this is a playoff game. They're gonna try to hurt him.
That was almost worse than like he died twice on the field after that. What are you guys fucking doing to him?
Yeah, he died. Awful. My Buffalo ticket died. A lot of things died that day, Steph.
A lot of deaths. The only other prop I was looking at before we talk about some week 2 player props, I wrote week 1. I'm obviously hanging on for dear life here, but Tua over 4.5 rushing yards. Don't hate it.
Yes.
don't
I
hate
love
it.
that.
Minus 116. I don't hate it here. He had 11 last week. I think what is it? He's averaging 7 point. You add whatever number you want at the end per game in his career. Exactly 7 in both games versus Buffalo last year.
Steph, I love that because first of all, he's gotten a little better and he has ran a little. I had that freezing cold Kansas City playoff game they played last year, the last game of the season.
Yes.
I had his rushing ladder, and I think it was 28 or something where he got to the top to get the kitty out of the tree, and it was 20-1 or something. And he had it. He 26.5, and he had the one last run, and he literally just did a Forrest Gump 90-degree turn to go out of bounds. All he needed was one more yard. And it was so mind-blowing.
You can't count on him.
I mean, you can't count it, but he did have over 20 yards rushing. So,
and I'm thinking too, Miami's O-line doesn't look fucking great. I think that's part of the problem. It's why they couldn't establish a run. So I think Tua taking off to get 5 rushing yards is not. We're not asking Tua. You don't have to do a lot. I'm not asking for 10. I'm not asking for 15. Just get 7, 8, 9.
We're not gonna run quarterback powers for you.
Cash. That's all I'm asking for. Let's get into week 2 props.
What was the
first click that you made as once they started pouring in here?
I know. Well, I'm looking at trying some bounce back players. Like I was saying with rookies, I had bad stuff. And the worst rookie performance besides Caleb was Marvin Harrison.
It was bad.
Was horrible. But he was open. Maybe Kyler couldn't see him, they were saying, because he's so short. But, I mean, he was wide open on that play that went viral there towards the end of the game. He's a deep ball player and a deep ball
get used
receiver.
To it,
buddy. Yeah, I know, exactly. But I look at what the Lions did to the Rams last week, and the Rams secondary is in trouble, and how Jameson just absolutely torched them. I think Kyler Murray bounces back and will make an effort to get him the ball. I was hoping. So let me pull up his. There's a lot of different ways you can attack Marvin Harrison.
A lot of ways.
Yeah. I think it was. Let's see here.
Who do they have this week again? They have Rams, which I kind of like the Cardinals too.
Right.
A little bit here. Rams are banged up.
The Rams are very banged up, and this is a great game. This is a great game to get in on Arizona, I believe, because and put the Rams put so much into that. I don't even know how they got that game in overtime. They should have won it. Actually, my Rams ticket was burnt with that overtime.
They gave it away.
And I watched that in the Venetian Sportsbook, and I was literally screaming because everyone was on the Lions, and I was so mad.
Do they not have lines out for Marvin Harrison yet? They might. I only see a touchdown plus 200. 2 touchdowns, 15-1.
Well, don't hate that.
Yeah, I don't see a yards line, but I think he's a good guy to target this week to bounce back.
Yeah, and I imagine it would be around 40 and a half, I'd say, like that, around there.
Yeah.
If I was to guess, let me check another site real quick. I should have.
Yeah, no, do it. Before I do a whole little Giants spiel and I lose everyone, all the viewers, be sure to subscribe, rate and review, hit that like button, reply with your favorite prop before I get into some of my favorite props because you guys are probably not. Yeah, I don't see anything for him.
This is crazy. I don't understand why they wouldn't. Why won't these cowards give me a Marvin Harrison?
Why this game? Why Marvin Harrison? What do they know?
I know. Well, you know what? It might have something to do with the Rams secondary, I guess.
Probably. But, I mean, that's a mess as well.
Right.
Really?
Yeah. All I'm seeing is Cooper Kupp right now, which is kind of crazy too, because of Puka being out. And I do like DeMarcus Robinson when he does show up to the thing, and then Ty and Johnson as well is their third receiver.
Yeah,
but
I see Trevor mentioning Parkinson too. I really like him. I'm probably going to keep riding that anytime touchdown. I had it during the Detroit game, but he's someone that I probably will find myself betting on a lot anytime touchdown.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's not who I'm looking at there. So whatever.
All right. Ready for my spiel?
Yes, let me hear a spiel. Get me out.
Everyone, sit up straight. Listen.
Sure.
I think I will preface this by saying I do think the Giants are losing. I'm going to start with that.
Okay.
Is there a world though that Jones is kind of the Commanders' daddy. The Commanders' O-line is like really, really bad. I think it's really cute that everyone still tried to say it's improved. I don't think it looks improved to the extent that everyone said. And I think the Giants' D-line is, it's basically Dexter Lawrence. I don't know where Brian Burns was. I don't know. Kayvon, I don't even know if he plays.
Yeah.
Listen, I see the snaps, but I'm not seeing the players. Part of it. But we'll start on the Giants side. Malik Neighbors.
Yes.
Longest reception again. Over 22.5. Minus 114. First bet I placed. His first catch in the NFL was a nice 25-yarder. And then his receptions, I guess I didn't realize because I was seeing red and shutting off the game and walking to go get another beer in between every single snap. But he had 5 receptions for 66 yards. Fine. You would have never guessed that in that disgusting game. 7 targets, over 5.5 receptions, plus 110.
Love it.
Love that number. Washington secondary, horrible. You look at what the Bucs did last week. Baker threw for 289 yards. Evans, 5 receptions for 66. 24 was his longest. 2 TDs. Godwin, 8 for 83. 24 was his longest. 1 TD. McMillan, 1 reception, 32 yards. Also got a TD. And then even Rachaad White, 6 receptions, 75 yards. Longest 32. Malik Neighbors. Why not?
Why not? Well, you know how I feel about Malik Neighbors. Yeah,
that's why you drafted him. So you're gonna have to get him the ball.
Absolutely. I have I put a flyer on him to lead the league in receptions at like 75-1. I love his over receptions. Period. Wendell, you can't target Wendell Robinson more than what are we doing here? This is Malik Neighbors. He is your lead number 1. I expect him to have a Brandon Marshall type year where he's got to have at least 2-3 catches a quarter and to finish with double digits every single game. He has to have at least 10 or 12 targets a game. You can't justify not doing that. What else are you even doing out there?
No. And against this secondary too, like fine. I think we can all admit, and it's kind of beautiful on Giants Twitter, everyone's like on the same page, and it's that Daniel Jones is not our quarterback. So it's nice. It's a little piece, and then they're fighting about who knows what. It only lasts about 10 seconds. But just let the guy throw the ball. Like this is the secondary to do it. Put the ball up. The play calling was a little bit interesting that last game. You mentioned Wandale Robinson. If they give me a rushing line, I'm taking it. Get a 14-yard rush like that, quite a bit. Eckler's receptions weren't out. Also kind of took a look at that. Anyone else that you're looking at?
Are they brave enough to give Steph a Wandale Robinson rushing prop?
They're not. What's their problem? Not even a rushing and receiving. Someone give me a crumb.
Right. This is absolutely
don't give me a longest rush because you guys are screwed if that happens. No, they were all 11 targets week 1.
Yes, absolutely.
Top 10 in target share.
I don't know. As far as this game, I was all over the Jaden Daniels rushing prop last week for that game, and I don't see me going away from it again. Just because that's what he does. I mean, he's a rookie quarterback. That's what rookie quarterbacks do, especially, and he's good at it. So what is the number now? I doubt it's 35.5 anymore. That's for sure.
It was I think it was like 50 something, to be honest. I think he had
I could definitely see that because he picks up like he picks up it's at you're exactly right. 50.5 is what it is at minus 120.
Yeah. And you call the number. Why do I know that?
He picks up 10 or 12 clips at a time. Like he's so athletic because they stretch downfield. They're not doing any of those short boundaries. They were on lead and they're going to deep downfield. So that opens up when he gives up that those lanes are going to be there. And that
and the O-line stinks.
Right. Yes.
Let me interest you in this parlay. Plus 650. One of the first bets I placed. I knew I was going into this week. I knew I was placing this. Like.
Hold on. Can't hear you there for a sec, Steph.
let's see if producer Ryan's going to come on and help a little bit.
I got you. Sorry, you went out for a second.
No, you're good.
I got you now. It was kind of great though, real quick, watching you going on your rant, but not.
I was so animated. I was really into it. I was so proud of myself. Did you hear any of the parlay?
I heard you. First of all, you had me plus 650. I think I zoned out anyway. As soon as you
You're
had
like, whatever you want, that's fine. Plus, this is how I got you in Vegas to stick $100 in the freaking slot machine. We picked the Chargers. It didn't go. We blew through that real quick. No, plus 650. Jaden Daniels said he's going to run. His O-line stinks. Listen, that's going to be their whole thing. Actually, he's interesting too. Plus rushing touchdowns, but that's for another point. Jaden Daniels over 58.5 rushing yards, and Daniel Jones over 38.5 rushing yards, plus 650. That's a nice number.
It is a great number, and I love betting the numbers, and that's always a passive aggressive thing when people say, "Hey, that's a number." Well,
that's a number.
That's a number.
Listen,
that's a number.
You can keep it straight with me here. CJ.
Not a bet, but it's a number. Yeah, my only problem with that, of course, is Daniel Jones' knee. I just don't think he's healthy. I don't think he's healthy yet. And
no, I think his brain's not healthy. I think it's a confidence thing. He looked like, I'm hoping. My expectation for the Giants this year was just to be able to watch games, and week 1 couldn't have been fucking worse, to be honest.
Right.
I could not have even imagined it went that way.
Is there a possibility Washington starts to feel bad for him in the second half, like Minnesota said they did? They said they started feeling bad for him towards the end of the game, like he was a charity case out there.
Yeah, I don't know. And even Minnesota, going back and looking at their stats, I don't know that they played as well as everyone's acting either. It's a little too much hype, and I think that Sam Darnold's going to remind them very quickly what the situation is there, especially 49ers coming to town. Last time they played them was a prime time last year, and they beat the crap out of them. So I think 49ers seek a little bit of revenge as well. Any other guys you're targeting this week for player props?
Well, I'm saying for that game too, maybe I don't mind an interception parlay there too. Daniel Jones.
Love it.
He's kind of mastered the under 10-yard pick six pick play there. It's kind of incredible.
How is that your thing? Imagine it just doesn't even make sense. I think he needs to go to an eye doctor.
I mean,
something's going on. It doesn't even make sense. Are you okay?
And it's when they get to the backfield, they're like, don't pressure him. He'll throw you the ball. Just get on their side. But get on his side of the line of scrimmage. So I don't know. That
also, why are you guys passing? All you did was hand the ball off at that point. We're just changing. That's the only thing we actually change up from last year is that you're passing instead of just handing the ball off at the goal line. That's an interesting thing to change up there. Let's see if Eckler's receptions came out. That would be the only other thing I probably am it's not. I like him to score a touchdown though. Plus 235 to score a touchdown for Eckler seems silly.
That's not bad. I see Eckler catching 6 or 7 balls though for sure.
Oh yeah, that went over so quickly. That his receiving and receptions last week were very, very easy cash. Which that's not. I don't like it happened too fast for me. I like the longest reception, longest rush.
You need to be
a little something.
You need to be seduced a little bit before.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah, right.
Give me a little betting foreplay here. What are we doing? You're just cashing the bet so quickly. I think I'll run. I have only one other one that I already bet, and then I'll let Ryan get on here if you don't have anything else. Brock Bowers led the team in receptions versus the Chargers. Over 3.5 receptions is minus 105. I really like that. He had 8 targets, 6 receptions, 58 yards. I don't know. I think I'm leaning into the Brock Bowers thing here.
I'm starting to like Brock Bowers too. I think that's going to be a thing, especially when you look at the way especially with Minshew out there, even with O'Connell. It's just going to be a situation like the safety valve, and Bowers will be like one of those guys. So I like his receptions more than his yards, but yeah, for sure. I do that, and I do as far as anything else goes. I like have they put out a Malik Willis rushing prop out?
Because then what is freaking LaFleur's like? Oh, Jordan Love might play. Can you just knock it off? Are they fucking playing or are they not?
This is a joke. I know. I hate this shit.
This is our money that is in your hand.
And with the Niners, with McCaffrey and shit, like, oh no, we just told him to be ready. You're a liar. You're a fucking liar.
You're just straight up lying. It's very easy to tell that you are. Initially, my thought was to add Malik to that Daniel Jones-Daniels parlay, but they obviously didn't have the line out. But yeah, I think his rushing is definitely taking a gander at.
Yeah. I like that. Gander taking. Like that segment. Segment of Stephie Smalls, gander taking.
Yeah. I love it. Ryan's going to come on. We'll switch from doing some betting stuff. I don't know what he has prepared. Do a little would you rather segment here to have a little fun before we get out of here. What's up, Ryan? Can't hear you. You got to unmute.
Yeah, my mic was muted there. There we go. All right. Steph, you got to move over a little bit since
I know I'm adjusting. You pushed me over.
Okay. So Steph had the idea to do a would you rather segment, and so I wrote some questions, and this is what I did with my morning, guys. Would you rather co-manage your fantasy football teams with Bill Belichick or co-own a chain of massage parlors with Robert Kraft?
I'll let the guest go first.
Interesting. Well, co-owning the team with Bill Belichick is also risky with the massage parlor. You don't know he's going to be one of those. I forget to set the lineups. I'm thinking of the ring camera situation. He's got to like put up with a lot of situations, running around chasing the youth, if you will, and so that might drain him. So the massage parlors, crap, that clears his mind. He's focused. He went there before the AFC Championship game. He got a nice schedule in there, 9 a.m. flight to Florida, then to Kansas City. He's not going to drop the ball, if you will, and any of that. Now, Belichick, he's a wild card now. Now he's on Instagram. He's wearing the younger jeans.
The 23-year-old.
That's what I'm saying. And he's trying to, and she's obviously getting influence to his life. And now he's doing like TikTok trends and shit. And I don't know. You can't trust a guy like that. Give me Kraft and a massage parlor. And,
Trevor in the chat says massage parlors easy. Kraft will get all his buddies, high dollar clientele, super profitable. I like the way Trevor's thinking. But
here's the thing. Also, when you said, "Do you want me to think of the questions?" I probably didn't think that through before I said yes.
Good opener.
But I think I would go Belichick. I feel like Kraft would kind of screw you out of the money. Like, do you actually own them with him? I don't trust him. Something about the face. So I think I would go.
His lawyers are too good. His lawyers would be too good.
And Bill obviously likes a younger woman, so I feel like he would just listen to me, whatever I said.
Oh, absolutely. Okay. You could definitely control no matter what decision needs to be made. No doubt about that.
This one is for Steph because she goes to so many weddings.
Ew.
Would you rather wear a referee uniform to your wedding or at your best friend's wedding, throw a penalty flag when the priest asks if anybody has any objections?
Oh, I mean, just because it's my best, I'm definitely throwing a penalty flag because that's hilarious. And I'm there for the moment. I'm there for memories. Like, who are they really going to remember? The ref uniform? Maybe not, but the flag? Like, come on. That's iconic. That goes down in history. You take that to the grave.
Fantastic. And even if there was a review booth too, you could go over too, and you're looking at old college highlights or something. Right.
I love that.
Yeah.
All right. CJ, would you rather try to block Max Crosby for an entire game or publicly be the reason that Max Crosby falls off the wagon and starts drinking again?
Oh my God.
Wow. That's insane. So they're kind of the same thing. You're blocking his progress, and you're blocking his progress to the quarterback. I'd take, I would take the recovery fault for sure because
you'd have to deal with a lot of angry Raiders fans and not a lot of angry AA fans.
They're already angry.
Angry AA fans. Raider fans will have my back. See, that's what I'm hoping for. That the Raider fans, they don't understand that world. They'll come over, and AA fans they're annoying people anyway. They're a fucking cult that I hate. That they're just doing cheap therapy that's not coming for them. But point is. Max Crosby has that tattoo recovery energy too. Like there's some stories there. So I don't think it would take much to get him off the edge, but I certainly don't want to block him like Joe Alt successfully did this weekend.
Yeah. All right, Steph, would you rather let a football thrown by Tom Brady smack you in the face or listen to him commentate another NFL game?
Oh, that's a tough one because my nose was really expensive. So probably listen to him commentate, but that was very brutal. He does not have a booth voice. Let's hope it gets better. I recommend like half an Adderall maybe before he goes in there. We gotta maybe he needs some auto tune. It's a little too high pitched.
Yes,
we'll give him another chance. I'm not taking a football to the face.
Combine that. Blame it on the Adderall.
Got two more. One, this first one for each of you. One for CJ. This is inspired by Stephie's team, though.
Right.
Would you rather shoot yourself in the leg like Plexico Burris, or would you rather blow off 2 fingers with fireworks like Jason Pierre-Paul?
Wow, I mean, gunshot is definitely a much more respectable, credible injury than firework mishap.
Yeah,
I would say.
Yeah, but
sure.
there would be jail time with that because he did that in the club. So you got to keep that in mind.
Did his driving
no,
around,
you know what the penalty was? Taking away back-to-back Super Bowls. That was the penty.
Yes.
He should go to jail forever because of that.
Absolutely. But the gun in the sweatpants, I think I could avoid that. That was part of the look. But yeah, I could always make up a story of why I got shot. Not that I was putting on my sweatpants trying to get into Club Butter or whatever the fuck he was going to.
He got shot on Fremont Street. Very easy, believable story. Like
absolutely. Fireworks, you're just white trash. That's all it is. So you don't need to do
All right, Steph. Would you rather let Antonio Brown tweet as you from your account, or be one of his baby mamas?
I mean, probably be one of his baby mamas because I feel like that's like a lot of money.
But he filed for bankruptcy. He has no money left.
Oh, I mean, he's
known for not paying. Yeah, he's known for not paying employees. I don't know if he calls his baby mama employee, but you know what I mean, like all that kind of stuff.
I mean, he got hit in the head a lot. Like, what are people getting in business with Antonio Brown? It sounds like you have the head problem.
Didn't he thirst after you on Twitter one time or something? I remember you retweeted.
Yes, I asked him. I tweeted at him. Team Dumpy or Team Milkers, and it was something about like it's always up the ass or something. I had to find that. I don't know. Like it's always ass or I don't remember.
It's clearly not always up the ass because he has a lot of children, and you don't have children by going up the ass.
I think he quotes me and just like hashtag anal or something. It was something bizarre.
You gave him a would you rather?
Yeah, exactly.
Front or backwards, and he probably in there for sure.
All right, CJ, I appreciate you coming on. We'll have to get the laddie daddy on again soon. I appreciate you, and I'll let you.
Now, real quick, Steph, before I go, I have to, because I'd be remiss if I did not bring this up. It's one of the main reasons.
I get up and walk?
The main reasons why I get up and show. You can walk, but eventually you're going to come back and you're going to lie down. That's what I was getting to. Stephie Smalls. And I implore the Smalls heads. What do your fans call it? They call it something like the Smallettes or something like that. Small heads. Anyway, I need to tell your fans. We designed a plan in Las Vegas to break the internet, and you will break the internet. There's a whole walking bets controversy that happened last week. Now, we can still strike. It's very kind of look hot, and also in the female gambling world. So you got dragged into this just by being a female in the gambling world. So that's your opinion.
Yeah.
And there's all these awful parodies. Obviously, the guys going shirtless, blah blah blah.
We don't want to see
and it's already been done. We designed one for you. Laying down bets. Double title. Laying down bets. You're not walking. You're laying down in bed, and you're covered up like a blanket burrito style. Yeah, you're hungover. You're always got the high noon, maybe high noon empty sitting behind you. Exactly. Tito's. When you see golf provisions, all kinds of things. Blanket burrito. You pop the head up. You give out your little, Malik Neighbors play, and you put it back down, laying down bets. It's like you don't want to own the internet, because if you I need this to be done. I need your fans to put the pressure on you. I need to see this happen. I like it.
I think we should get her like a shade lounge that she can kind of lay on. Like one of those shade lounges that you kind of lay on during the show and just do your whole show laying down.
Oh, I have a blue velvet futon right next to me, so maybe we just lay down shows. No, I think
That feels very much
dead
like Arizona
being-
college furniture you still got.
But I'm being dead
I'm
serious.
still
This has to
Arizona
happen.
college.
This has to happen.
Yes. I
I'm
think
so-
volume 1 of laying down bets starts this week. I think that
Okay.
it's time. I did get you remember Snuggies?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
My dad's girlfriend got me basically one. It's like a big blanket that you wear over your head. I can wear it with my son, which means also now I have to commit to getting a hangover. So Saturday night will be fun.
That shouldn't be too hard for you. Yeah.
Do you think you could possibly draw up that method acting and pull yourself together to get yourself hungover?
Absolutely. Yeah, 100%. It'd be great. That's how we break the internet. It was a great plan. We wrote it down on a napkin, designed the play.
Right.
Like
all great plans designed on cocktail napkins. We drew it up.
100%. Yeah. After losing hundreds of dollars on the Chargers and the NFL slot machine. That's how you drop the plane. That's it. That's how you do it. All right, CJ, tell everyone where they can find you because I don't know if I mentioned it.
Yeah, sure. No, subscribe to my show, The Bottom Line Bombs, on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network, SGPN. I know you have a bunch of those guys over there. Yeah, you can follow me on the X at CJ Sullivan _ or on Instagram. CJ Sullivan was taken _ in between all those words, and that's it. Pretty much.
Love it. You're the best, CJ. Yep. Talk to you soon.
All right, Steph. All right,
see ya.
Watch him make it, break it, break it, break it.